let's get into our next big topic, drama breaking at Team Ineos. Chris Froome, Egan Bernal engaged in a war of words through the media. Of course, them not actually saying this, the media more just taking their words and throwing them at each other. But Egan Bernal telling Alberto Contador on the Spanish version of Eurosport that he was going to be the leader at the Tour de France, as he well should be, and that he was not going to sacrifice his own chances for Chris Froome or Geraint Thomas.
I'm going to stop you right there. These words have been blown completely out of proportion. Egan Bernal effectively said that, if there's just throwing an example out, he's not going to throw away his Tour de France opportunity by soft pedaling in a time trial to conserve strength to be a stronger domestique in the mountains later in the race. He is going to put himself up there as a potential winner, and things will be decided on the road, as they have been every single year for Team Ineos going into the Tour de France with multiple potential winners of the Tour. Nothing's changed. Egan Bernal is just saying he's not going to take the back seat from the start for Geraint Thomas and Chris Froome. And I don't think that there's really any need to read any further into that. This is the same Team Sky, Team Ineos strategy that we have seen for the last decade.
That's a fair point. When Bradley Wiggins won the first Tour de France for Team Sky, Chris Froome was his loyal domestique, and there was drama there over Chris Froome holding back on some of the steeper mountain climbs, and when he was apparently riding Bradley Wiggins right off his wheel. But the addendum to Bernal's comments was then news breaking that Chris Froome is exploring potentially a mid-season transfer from Team Ineos before the Tour de France, which would be a bold move and an interesting move. What I think I don't know if legal is the term, but maybe the bureaucratic look at this is that riders that have had their salaries reduced are really no longer beholden to some of these team contracts, and we may see some team transfers ahead of the Tour de France. Whether that will be Chris Froome and Team Ineos doesn't look likely, but it's certainly fun to think about.
It's fun to think about, but again, I just have to put the brakes on this speculation, because the dynamic that having a rider who demands the salary that Chris Froome demands coming onto a team where salaries are probably cut, riders are probably disgruntled, and then they get this guy who's one of the best paid cyclists in the world all of a sudden showing up and saying, all right, boys, work for me now. I don't see that working. And Chris Froome, he has competition at Team Ineos, but he is staying on Ineos in the strongest position to win another Tour de France. And I just can't really imagine, maybe there's going to be an end of season transfer for him, but I can't imagine him doing anything in the state that cycling is in right now prior to the start of the Tour de France in August.